Okay, so let's look into the analysis of this, RC passage. We have already solved it in the last video. So let's look into the nuances of whether or not you should be, attempting these passages. Now, it totally depends on the student whether or not he or she would like to, attempt a passage. But then again, this is my job to tell you that there are certain things that you should be taking care of. For a passage like this, which according to me, I think that, this was very argumentative. Okay, so on a level of 1 to 5, I would give it a 4, just because of the nature of arguments that have been presented in it. This passage, I almost felt like, this was some sort of a poetry, not even a prose, because you could not make sense of what is told to you. It is just snippets of ideas that you can bring along with yourself. For example, the first line: every civilized society lives and thrives on a silent but profound agreement as to what is accepted as the valid mold of experience. So, a civilized we are talking about a civilized society. First of all, that is the highlighting idea. And the civilized society lives and thrives on a silent but profound agreement. We don't know what that agreement is for the for the time being. All that I know for a fact is that there is an agreement, and that that agreement, just a second. Yeah, sorry for that. Yeah, so I don't know about the agreement, but I know for a fact that there is an agreement that is accepted as the valid mold of experience. Okay, now then they go about to explain the civilization and the system of civilization, how it wards off, directs, and articulates the influx of unexercised and inarticulate experiences. One way or the other, a little difficult to read sort of a passage. This is not the type of a passage that I would recommend somebody with a 50% or 60% sort of an accuracy to even attempt. But then if you are someone who just wants to improve your overall comprehension, I would say that even if it takes 30 to 45 minutes just for this single passage, I would say just go about it. Give it the 30 minutes, the 45 minutes that it requires. Guys, please understand, it is not about 5 minutes में reading कर लेंगे और 5 minutes जो बचेगा उसमें solve कर लेंगे. This is a bullshit strategy. It's a test taking strategy. You cannot apply this thing to all the passages that you read. The first thing that I tell my students is कि चुपचाप बैठो और ध्यान से समझो. ठीक है? There is a lot that you can garner just by reading between the lines, reading the lines which are there. So ये सब चीज़ों में ना मत पढ़ो कि 5 मिनट में सॉल्व करना है, 5 मिनट में रीड करना है. ये सब चीज़ें होती जाएंगी, इवेंचुअली आपका इंप्रूवमेंट हो जाएगा. बट देन इवन इफ इट टेक्स 30 मिनट्स 45 मिनट्स, that's completely fine, as long as I am getting my accuracy. So my accuracy needs to be 70% plus. 70 प्लस का मतलब होता है अगर 4 क्वेश्चंस हैं तो एटलीस्ट 2-3 क्वेश्चन सही हो जाए. अगर एक क्वेश्चन गलत हो जाए तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं. और उस पर भी मैं यहाँ तक बोलूंगा कि यू हैव टू लीव सर्टन क्वेश्चंस. लीव, मुझे ये नहीं समझ में आता व्हाई इज इट दैट स्टूडेंट्स डोंट लीव क्वेश्चंस. लीव इट. इफ यू आर स्टक बिटवीन 2 ऑप्शंस, रादर देन मार्किंग without a intelligent guess or anything, I would just say leave the question. Why do you leave the question? Because I have already said the 0 marks is favorable to me, but -1 is not favorable. So that's one of the points of analysis that I would like to say. Now I would read the last line and try and understand, try and figure out whether or not this was something that I could have read in an actual setup. So the last line, and I would typically be hoping that they give us some sort of a concluding statement. And Rilke tells a story in which, as in T.S. Eliot's poem, it is again the sea and the distance of another creation. Okay, distance of other creation that becomes the image of the poet's reality. A rowing boat sets out on a difficult passage and blah blah blah. What about the last line? I don't know how and why and how is Rilke's conclusion, but suddenly I understood the situation of the poet, his place and function in this age. It does not matter if one denies him every place except this one. there one must tolerate him. So typically a very interesting this thing, some sort of a analysis is going on. It's a very interesting passage. I would say if you're comfortable reading such passages, go about it, read them, and solve them. Try to solve them in a test setup. I am typically just talking about the test setup. If you're not comfortable generally going about these passages, just leave them. Okay. Having said that, that's all from my side. This is all for the analysis. I hope you enjoyed the analysis. This is not the solution. The solution is already uploaded in the in the learning tab, so you can go and learn it over there. Thank you.